Erling Haaland's now injured, so is it time to bring in Omar Marmoush ahead of Gameweek 30? Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are good and you're looking forward to that Tuesday night deadline. Omar Marmoush is definitely on people's radars. He scored again in the FA Cup. He's going to play number 9 for Man City versus Leicester. He's a potential captaincy option, and in today's show I'm going to show you a captaincy matrix, not just for this week, but for the next 6-7 weeks. For those on wildcard, this will really help as well. And of course, we're going to talk about the big decisions I'm facing in my team. I'm going to compare Marmoush and Haaland as well. Makes for quite good reading. But look, without further ado, we've got to talk about Erling Haaland and that injury, haven't we? We saw him come off against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. Scout tweeted, and they mentioned Pep Guardiola, who said, I saw him on the massage table. I didn't speak with him, not even with the doctors, so I don't know. Of course, Pep's going to say, I don't know. He was leaving the stadium on crutches. This is him leaving the Vitality. It doesn't look good. He asked to come off. He tried playing on. He couldn't. We've seen players be in protective boots and make the next game. Rarely do they make the next game when it's 3-4 days later. They don't need to risk him versus Leicester. Man City see this as a banker win. They don't need to risk Erling Haaland. He ain't going to play, guys. So with that in mind, for those that have bought him, some are now forced into wildcards. For those that, because they need to get Salah back, for those that are looking for a Man City forward, well, Marmoush is absolutely the way we should be heading. But I'm just going to give you the state of play from the Ben Crellin update. This is based on the potential doubles and blanks. If you don't already have this, save it to your desktop. Follow Ben on Twitter. Now, this is, of course, subject to change, and nothing is fixed other than the doubles in 32. Palace and Newcastle players, we should all be buying them if we don't have them. If you're on wildcard, you should be wildcarding them in. Game week 33 doubles, well, we know it's likely there'll be 4 double game weeks. Doubles for Palace, Man City, Villa and Arsenal, okay? 34, those teams that double in 33 will blank in 34. Therefore, that 34 blank game weeks, not as big as we thought it would be, and actually should be okay to navigate. We then should get some more doubles in 36. The teams that blank in 37 will likely double in 36. Again, more FA Cup scenarios here. But better just to look at small windows. Up to game week 34, we can now look with some clarity, okay? If you're on wildcard, you've got a beeline for teams that double in 32 and 33. Absolutely do. And then probably free hit in 34. So, look, let's talk now a little bit about my team and where I'm at. Guys, if you're enjoying the show so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I am in Italy. I've moved here for 3 months. I've not got my proper setup yet. So this is a slapdash recording off the back of that Haaland news. But thank you for the support. Of course, I'm going to continue to do videos in Italy. Absolutely, that's my plan. So thanks for all the love. My team's doing a little bit better. I'm not going to dwell on Game Week 29. I want to show you all the juicy stuff about Game Week 30, so stay tuned for that. But Game Week 29, yeah, it went well. Free hit went well. Marmoush and Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, thank you for your 17 points. Just want to give a shout out, really, to overall rank. Like, I've come from 1.3 million only 8 weeks ago. This graphic is in the last 8 weeks. There are 9 weeks left of the season. You can make these gains and more because we've got all the doubles and blanks and more chips in play. Gains are going to be easier to make than what I've just made in the last 8 weeks. We've got 9 weeks and we've got all the chips. I've gone from 1.3 million to 500k. It's my worst season ever. It's going to be my worst season ever. I've finished outside the top 100k, I think, twice in the last 13 years. I'm going to do well to finish in the top 100k this year, aren't I? But let's see, it's still an absolute possibility. I think I've got 8 top 50k finishes. I would love to make that 9. Love to make that 9. Anyway, let's look at my bus team, shall we? So 3.3 million in the bank, 1 free transfer. Trent is, of course, flagged. And look, I'm fairly happy with my team. When I look at my team, though, I go through and go, before I think about transfers, who are the players that I don't want in here long term? So let's put, like, we can put a question mark on Pickford, right? I don't want Pickford long term. I don't want Rico Lewis long term. I don't think he starts versus Leicester. That's a bit of a problem. And the 4 guys on the bench, don't really want any of them long term. So I've got a few issues, but nothing major and nothing pressing. The big issue for me is, can I field 3 defenders this week? With Mikalenko, he's been a bit of a doubt. I kind of need him fit because I'm not sure Rico Lewis starts. I'm going to chance Rico Lewis starting though. So we need to compare Marmoush with Haaland because I look at this team and go, Marmoush in could be quite a sexy pick. And I think that's where, well, I'll tell you later. I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm also, you got to think captaincy, and we're going to talk about some of the game's most transferred in players. But guys, before we do, One Football, if you're not already on the One Football app, guys, get on it. It shows you all the Premier League highlights, it shows you all the scores, all the team news. It's a live score app, it's free. Download, link in the description or on screen now. It's the place for football news, not just Premier League, Champions League, Serie A. I was here in Italy last night. I woke up this morning because I went to bed early. I wanted to know the Napoli-Milan score. I was able to track the game, see the video as soon as I got up. Perfectly 2-minute highlights. What more can you ask for? Get the One Football app, guys. It's brilliant. Marmoush versus Haaland. Well, let's just go back a couple of months. January window. Man City make Omar Marmoush their #1 target. He has been smashing it in Germany for Frankfurt, scoring goals galore, and Pep knows he wants to bring this player in, which is unlike Pep to make a January move for a big signing. Pep likes to do his business in the summer, a full summer on the training ground. It waited to the very end of the window till he was able to get Marmoush, and the Chelsea game was only days away. Pep still put him in the 11. Marmoush did not come to be a squad player. He didn't come to even be eased in, which is what Pep always does with big signings, other than Erling Haaland. All the big signings from Pep over the years, they never come straight into the 11. They're eased in. Well, Omar Marmoush has started, I think, these last 7 Premier League games he's been available. Or the last 8 games he's been available, he started 7. Or it's 7 available, started 6. I can't remember. I think it's 6 from 7. So in the Premier League, he starts. Give or take. He's missed 1 game. And yes, he's getting some early subs, but that's fine. In those 7 games, how does he compare to Erling Haaland? Well, he's played in a variety of positions. Marmoush, we've seen him on the left, we've seen him as the number 9, we've seen him as the second striker. I think in an ideal world, he's going to be a second striker. But with the Haaland injury, we can expect to see him number 9, where he'll be even more dangerous for goal threat. Now, in this time, when we compare the two, they've had a really equal number of minutes. Haaland, of course, does edge it. They've had 4 goals each, and there were 14 attempts each. The big difference is the quality of those chances. Marmoush is scoring goals from distance. Haaland's, of course, eating up the big chances. So, XG average, Haaland gets 3 times as much, 0.6, Marmoush 0.2. Chances in the box, it's 12 versus 4, but 14 each. The creativity, Marmoush edges it. Haaland has got an extra assist. Marmoush slightly more creative. He creates a chance every 60 minutes versus Haaland 76. In brief, Haaland's numbers are better. But Marmoush is half the price. And Marmoush in a team without Haaland could be even more powerful, because we've not really seen that. Marmoush is an excellent, outstanding option this week. And for many, you're looking at selling a Cunha or a Chris Wood. Top of the list would be Marmoush and Mateta. We do have to mention Mateta. If you don't own him, I'm so happy to be on Mateta. And of course, he is the double in 32. But the reason Marmoush is so sexy this week is the entry point of Leicester and the possibility to captain him. Now, I've got an awesome captaincy matrix to show you guys. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, thank you so much for the support. Drop a comment, I'll get back to you. But yeah, this channel is 2 years old. And I was really late getting my own channel on YouTube. I've been doing content. You may have watched me for 5, 6, 7 years on other channels. So if you want to see the content that I put most of my energy into, the channel I put most of my energy into, please do subscribe to this one and let the YouTube algorithm dictate what videos you want to watch by subscribing to the ones you like. So, captaincy, but before that, most transferred in players. Isak most transferred in, alongside Bruno and Marmoush. These numbers are all a little bit higher now. I grabbed this a couple of days ago, but the theme continues. I would say Bruno is past his best in terms of the fixtures. He's still a brilliant FPL option. If you're on wildcard, I don't think you need him. If you're on wildcard, though, you definitely want Isak and you definitely want Marmoush. And the reason being is captaincy plays such an important part. Now, Isak is flying. Newcastle are backing themselves to get top 5. Top 5 gets Champions League. Newcastle need this. Isak needs this. It's a huge run-in for Newcastle. The fixtures are good. There's a double game week in 32. 2 home games, I might add. There's no midweek European football for Newcastle. Like, you look at teams like Arsenal, they've got the Real Madrid tie to think about. Aston Villa have got the PSG tie to think about. Like, Newcastle don't have midweek. You know, even teams like Man United and Chelsea, they got the midweek fixtures. Not that Man United are a threat for top 5. Chelsea are, though. Isak's going to be fresh, and he's flying. Newcastle, off the momentum of the cup win, I fancy them, you know, and I think we'll get some big score lines. Like, I think if you're on wildcard, you want 3 Newcastle players. I would be looking at a defender in Livramento, Burn or Trippier, and then maybe even double attack with someone like a Jacob Murphy. So that's where I'm at. Definitely going by Newcastle players. But if you're looking at captaincy the next few weeks, where are you going? And I'm going to show you my team in a minute, by the way. But captaincy, I've done a matrix. Now, look, Salah is our go-to. And when Haaland's fit, you can replace Haaland with Marmoush where fit. But I'm just going to drop in Marmoush as an example of where City attacker could be a captaincy option. Let's assume Haaland's out for a while. We've got Marmoush in 30. He's got Leicester. It's better than Salah's fixture. In 31, Isak's got Leicester. You're going to captain him over Salah, who's got Fulham, I think. In 32, you're going to go to a doubler. That'll be Isak or Mateta. In 33, it'll be a doubler. And the teams that doubling in 33, in terms of captaincy, if you own an Arsenal attacker, yeah, or a Villa attacker, maybe. But you could go Marmoush, you could have a double game week of Everton and Aston Villa. Then in 34, Isak is Ipswich. Salah plays Spurs. In 35, Marmoush has Wolves. Salah has Chelsea. Like, of course, there's other options than Marmoush and Haaland, but just to show you, like, the fixtures work, here's a legit captaincy option. And in 36, Marmoush will probably have a double game week. Again, Salah won't have a double game week. So 36, you're going to be captaining a doubler, whether it's Marmoush or not. What this shows me is Salah's brilliant. How much are you going to be captaining Salah? I don't think much. And if you're not captaining much, you should still buy him on wildcard. You should still buy him on wildcard. But if you're not captaining him much, then he's not absolutely a must-have. I think Isak's a must-have. And Marmoush I don't, because I don't think this has to be Marmoush. This could be Haaland when fit. This could be another City attacker. It could be someone else. For this week, Marmoush is the best option. But moving forward, Isak for captaincy. You get Isak for Leicester, a double game week, and then Ipswich in 31, 32, 34. No brainer. If you don't own Isak now, bring him in for Brentford. He's a great buy. So let's have a look at my team then, shall we? I showed you the bus team earlier. I don't have to make a transfer. Like, I could play Morgan Rogers and get 11 out quite happily. The defence is a bit of a concern, but I really want Marmoush, guys. I want Marmoush for Leicester. The ceiling's so high, and I think for captaincy, I need him in my team because I don't really want to captain Salah versus Everton. I don't think I'll go there. There's probably a 20% chance. I reckon I'm 80% chance on Marmoush if I buy him. You could even argue Isak versus Brentford is a better option than Salah versus Everton. So with this team, if Marmoush comes in, this puts Morgan Rogers on the bench. Not ideal, but okay. It leaves me with 2.9 million in the bank, no hit taken, and then a priority transfer next week for an Arsenal defender. I could even go to an Arsenal defender instead of Rico Lewis with a 4-point hit this week. That's also an option. That's where I'm at, guys. If you like the look of this team, hit those buttons on the way out, and I'll see you again for another video. Bye-bye.